In this lecture, I'm going to show you how to install Angular Material. Now, before we get started, I just want to let you know that you don't have to memorize any of the steps I'm going to show you in this lecture. All of these are perfectly documented, but you might find it easier to watch the video first and then look at the documentation. So, in the future, you can always go to material.angular.io. Under this guides page, you'll find this guide, Getting Started. And this shows you all the steps that you need to follow in order to add Angular Material to a project. So now let me show you these steps in action. First, in the terminal, just like the previous sections, I'm going to create a new project using Angular CLI. So ng new material-demo. All right, beautiful. Now let's go to this folder, material-demo. Here we need to install a couple of node packages. So npm install --save. The first one is Angular/CDK. And this stands for Component Development Kit. This Component Development Kit is one of the dependencies of Angular Material, and it's basically a library that allows you to build awesome components for the web, but without adopting the Material Design visual language. So if you want to build a reusable data table that doesn't necessarily have the Material Design visual language, you can build it with CDK in an agnostic way. So this is the first dependency we need to install. And the second one is the actual Angular Material package. So at Angular/material. So these are the essential packages that we need to install. Now, optionally, we can install a couple more packages. One is for adding animations, the other is for gesture. So if you want to have those nice animations, also install at Angular/animations. And finally, in order to add gesture support, you need to install Hammer.js. So Hammer.js. So Hammer.js is a powerful library that allows you to add gesture support to your pages. For example, you may tap with your finger or swipe or rotate and so on. Now, once again, this is an optional dependency, but I recommend you to add it to your application to make it more accessible. All right, now let's install these dependencies. All right, so the first step was to install these dependencies. Next, we need to include a theme. So let's go to Visual Studio Code. Here under Node Modules, under @Angular, you can find the material folder. And here we have these pre-built themes. So we have a bunch of themes. They're beautiful. The one I'm going to use is Indigo-Pink, but you may use any other that you prefer. So let's go to styles.css. We need to import a theme, just the same way we imported Bootstrap before. So @import. And here we add the relative path from Node Modules. So start with a tilde at Angular/material/prebuilt-themes/indigo-pink.css. Make sure to spell it properly, otherwise it's not going to work. So this was our second step. And now the final step. We need to go to app.module. Here, if you want to add animation support, you need to import browser animations module. Otherwise, you need to import no-op animations module. So let me show you. So if you previously installed Angular animations, you need to import browser animations module from @Angular/platform-browser/animations. Okay? So this is the implementation of the animations module in a browser. Now, if you don't want to have animations, instead of browser animations module, you need to import no-op animations module. So I'm going to select this line, duplicate, and change this module to no-op animations module. So now we need to import one of these modules into our ng module. So here in the imports array, I'm going to add Browser, Animations module. So these are the 3 steps that we need to follow in order to install Angular Material. Now, to make sure that we have installed Angular Material properly, let's go ahead and add a checkbox to our app component. So let's go to app.html. I'm going to delete all the markup here and add a checkbox. So that's md-checkbox. Now let's give it a label, subscribe to newsletter. So in Angular Material, we have a custom component for rendering a checkbox, and this md-checkbox is the selector for that component. Now, back in the terminal, we need to serve this application. Okay, it's ready. So back in the browser, we get a blank screen. So let's take a look at the console. We see a familiar error. md-checkbox is not a known element. Because we have used a custom component, but we have not imported this component into our app module. So let's go to app.module. Every component in Angular Material is defined in a separate module. So we need to go on the top, import this module here, and then add it to the imports array of our ng module. But how do we know what module a component is defining? Very easy. We go to material.angular.io, components, form controls, checkbox. Now under API, you can see the name of the module in which this component is defined. So this component is defined in md-checkbox module. I'm going to simply copy this line back here, paste it. Let's reformat it. Okay. And finally add it to the imports array. md-checkbox module. Save. Back in the browser. All right, now we have a beautiful modern checkbox with animation. So over the rest of this section, we're going to explore each of these components in more detail.